Hello everyone. I'm here playing Test Pack Please Ignore on our multiplayer server, although I'm the only one on at the moment. And I've had a revelation. I was off at the location henceforth known as Old Base, flattening out terrain and making the ground nice and level so I could build on it, and I realized that I was wasting that terrain, and that I was wasted on it. My skill as a builder has always been organization, not naturalistic builds or builds that use the terrain to the best of its ability. That place was, and still is, so pretty. I don't think that I will do it justice. And I know I said I was going to challenge myself and try it anyway, but you know, I realized that I just wasn't enjoying the work there. I think that until I get the very rudiments of a base up, I'm not gonna really want to play, so I think I need to do what I'm good at, and that is make a logical layout of the base pretty quickly. And this is actually going to give me an opportunity to show you the base design that I use again and again. If you've ever watched a video by Direwolf20, you know he has his 9x9s. Well, I have a design that I came up with quite a long time ago in vanilla Minecraft. I don't have a name for it yet, but it's an easily expandable courtyard-based design that I think you're really going to like. I think that it's a really nice design, and it can serve a lot of purposes, and it's very versatile. And eventually we're going to be able to fit all the infrastructure for basically every mod within this base. So it is big and can sprawl quite a bit if that's what we want it to do. So, to get started, I made myself a tape measure. Oh, and as I was exploring the land to try and find a place I liked better to build on a flat surface, I found a couple of chests. I've got some interesting stuff now. But anyway, I also made myself a tape measure, which will allow me, if you look right under my crosshair, to see how far away I am from that central point. And what we're going to want to do is figure out where it is we want to be. So I'm thinking 21, actually. Well, okay, let's see. If I'm 21 meters away from there, that would mean in grand total it will be 53 by 53 for the inner courtyard. That's probably a little bit big. Let's make it 51 by 51. Bring it to an even 20. So I'm just going to mark some of the walls that I plan to build. Okay. So we just need to take into account when we go this way that we are 1 Y level lower now, which is going to increase our distance by 1. And if we have to go up a Y level, okay, we do not. So this is where another of the walls is going to be. I think this will be a nice big inner courtyard. I really like having an inner courtyard in my builds. It allows me to sort of keep a piece of nature and not close myself off. And later on I will make a device that will prevent it from ever raining on us, so that won't be an issue. Okay, let's bring back out the tape measure. I don't understand why it says 3 meters now, though, because we are actually, well, oh, okay, 3 meters is just the shortest distance it can measure, it would appear. Okay, let's 1, 2, 3, 4, see what this says. Okay, 5. And what we can do now, we'll have to clean up this pond eventually, but that's okay. Okay, and we just have to keep track of our Y level here. So we are currently at Y level 70. So if we walk straight in this direction, okay. So that is our last point. There. Now we will know where everything is, and that's going to be a really good size, I think. Yeah, I like this. Oh, and of course, now it's nighttime. I didn't actually show you around this biome. This is a grove biome I found. I just love the deep green of all the foliage. It's relatively flat, which is my other requirement. And it's right by these mountains, which are going to look really cool in the background, I think. And a fungus forest over here, and a silk glade over here for easy access to, like, string. This is a really nice place. I really like it. I'm glad I found it. Oh, looks like a little bit of the glade pokes out over here too. That's cool. I like where we are anyway. But I am going to head back. I'll show you kind of what's in between us and the old base. I also, you can see my waypoint for it, found a mine shaft, which we will have to explore sometime soon, because I have been finding all sorts of good stuff in chests. Anyway, our bed is still here at the old base. Here it is. So we can sleep. To bring back the day. Let me show you while we're here quickly some of the things that I found while I was out adventuring. First of all, and this is something I think I will bring you on because I forgot to record it, but we'll have to do it again. I went to the Nether and I grabbed some cobalt and ardite. These are high-end Tinker's Construct metals that in alloy actually make the highest tier Tinker's Construct metal. And I used those primarily because I wanted the cobalt, which has the fastest mining speed, to make this hammer. I believe this is the best hammer you can make. It's a cobalt head with paper plates and a thaumium shaft, which means I have 6 modifiers I can put on it, which is really nice. I haven't shown you modifiers yet, but they allow you to upgrade Tinker's Construct tools much like enchants do for vanilla tools. And then also for my explorations, I got a Sword of the Zephyr, which is a crazy awesome Thaumcraft sword. When I right-click, it lets me hover, and I believe it pushes mobs away when I do that. It actually used to only push mobs away. Hopefully it still does, because that is more useful to me. And when you swing with it, if it still works the same way it used to, it hits all of a single mob within your range. But I want to enchant that so that it will not break as easily. Another thing I found, another Mjolnir. I'm glad I have one again. This time I will not right-click as it recommends. And then just a bunch of other junk. These force mitts I actually find pretty useful. They can help us to dig and chop down trees, so they sort of act as both a shovel and an axe. They also make it so that there's a higher chance of saplings dropping, I believe. So we are slowly but surely getting ourselves some infrastructure. I mean, very slowly, I suppose. But the thing that I think we'll want to do, the thing I think we will really want at the site of the new base is a way to generate smooth stone in large amounts. So one of the things that I have pretty much decided on, because it's so easy to get, we will probably at least initially build our fort out of just stone bricks. I know, in Test Pack Please Ignore we have access to all sorts of really awesome mods that add great aesthetic differences. Actually, what we should do is just check to see if there is another block we can easily get our hands on that will be very aesthetically pleasing. One of the mods that is added that adds these aesthetic blocks is called Chisel. So we will make one of the eponymous chisels. If I can find the actual recipe. Okay, here we are. The chisel. A stick and an ingot. That is very difficult to build, require many steps. It does actually require many steps. But now we have it. Okay. So if we take cobblestone, which is easy to get, netherrack, oh good, stone bricks, the other thing that I was looking for is just smooth stone. Well, we can look at this quarried stone as well. Actually, we will not, because I can't make a machine that will produce infinite numbers of that. Not that I can make that machine easily for netherrack either, but it's very easy to get. So, cobblestone When you use the chisel, you right-click on it, and it opens up this interface. You can drop a block in, and it will show you all the variations of that block that you can make with it without any additional resources, and it doesn't do any durability damage to the chisel, so you can basically swap it around all day and not worry. So there are some neat cobblestone textures. Oh wow, they have blue netherrack. Maybe we'll use that as a highlight to our build at some point. As far as stone bricks go, doesn't look like there's a lot of really interesting variations. So we may avoid that. If we look here though, we can see all the different blocks added by the chisel mod. Maybe we can find one that looks nice. So limestone is just a recolor of cobble, it appears. Marble is okay looking. We want to build with something we can get a lot of. I like the fantasy blocks, and they're easy enough to make. It would just take a little of the gold that we can pretty easily dig up. And then we could get any of these variations of fantasy block. But that said, it still seems like, well, okay, so this is even easier. Add a feather. Still seems to me though that brick, just good old stone brick, will be a good base for our work. And if we want to do something else later, maybe we'll switch out at that point. Yeah, I think we're going to go straight for stone bricks. And if we decide we want to change up parts of it at some point in the future, we will do that then. Okay, now that we've made that decision, what we want to look into is a way to make a lot of smooth stone. So for that, there are two easy ways that I know of. The first is the igneous extruder from thermal expansion, which will take in water and pump out smooth stone. Actually, if we want smooth stone, this may be the way to go. If we wanted just cobblestone, we could use the mining upgrade for extra utilities on a transfer node. And that would allow it to mine up cobblestone if we had basically an old school cobble gen underneath it. Water and lava leading together into cobble. The other thing that I just recently saw a video on is Engineer's Toolbox. And I believe there might be a way to use one of its multi-modular socket designs, which don't appear to be that expensive. Well, they're modestly expensive. There might be a way to use this in order to get smooth stone. What I'm going to do is figure out which of these I want. I'm going to look a couple of things up off camera, try and figure out which will work best for our design, and I will be back to make it in a second. Well, I got a little ahead of myself, made a modular socket, which is the major tool slash, it's kind of the base of all of the machines for Engineer's Toolbox. And once I had that, I realized I didn't really know how to set it up. There are a lot of different modules, as you can see, that do a number of different things. So I booted up a creative world and played around with it. There is a way to get smooth stone automatically generated with that, but it involves generating cobble and then smelting it, which isn't something I want to deal with when I know that thermal expansion can get me smooth stone immediately. So that's what I'm going to do, and we are going to make the igneous extruder. Which is going to take some materials. We'll need some glass, probably some gold, tin, and iron. So the first thing we'll want to make is a machine frame. Then a pneumatic servo, but we don't have enough glass. So let's get some of that started. We can do that by putting cobblestone into the pulverizer. In the meantime, we will also need 2 tin gears. And we'll make the pneumatic servo with silver, because I think we have a little bit more of that than iron. We will also need a piston, and for that let's take some of that cobble and hopefully witchwood can be used, because the starter base here is almost entirely out of wood. Okay, I saw that that could use aluminum. Which we don't actually have a ton of. Too bad it doesn't use tin. Okay, now we've got our igneous extruder. The other thing we will need, though, is an aqueous accumulator, which requires basically the exact same components again. Let's grab out the glass. The aqueous accumulator is going to get for us some water, because the igneous extruder will consume water to to make our smooth stone. If we wanted it to just make cobblestone, it would not consume the water. And I know I've seen some buckets over here. There. Now we have our aqueous accumulator and igneous extruder. Now we can put all this back. And there is one more thing we are going to want. Well, there are actually a couple things. The packager is going to allow us to directly turn that smooth stone into bricks. Okay, so we are going to want probably the packager, which means we need one more piston. And I'm hitting a little bit of lag here. Not sure why. Huh. Oh wow. Give me a moment. I'll make the packager and be right back. Well, no, looks like things are maybe responding now. Okay. Ugh. All the items got put back in their respective boxes. Of course. Okay, here we go. First, we must convert this to planks. We will make this version, except, of course, I don't have any cobble at the moment. Where did I put the cobble? There we go. Oh, hey. For the first time in a while, it looks like someone else is on while I am. Okay, take the crafting table. There we go. Now we have the packager. Okay. There's two more things we have to make. One is an item duct, tin and lead. Tin and lead, okay. We've got the item duct. The other thing we are going to want is a barrel. Oh. Interesting. Well, that's a little too pricey. We're not going to get a better barrel, it seems. But maybe we can just get a regular barrel. Okay, I am going to get that and find where I'm going to set up, and I will set this up for you guys, and that'll probably have to be the end of the episode, so I'll be right back to show you how I'm going to set this up. Okay guys, I think I have everything I'll need, and I'm here at the site of our future base. And for convenience sake, I am just going to make this thing here in this little lake. Because the aqueous accumulator gathers water very, very slowly, unless it has two water source blocks adjacent to it. But when it has that, it actually goes very quickly. So we're going to adjust this so that the bottom is an input. And yeah, we probably want the top to be an output. We're going to set it to make stone. And this is the general interface for all thermal expansion machines. Orange means output, blue means input, and these correspond to different sides of the machine. So if you look now, the top is an output. So if we take our lava bucket and add the lava, it's going to start producing smooth stone. Fantastic, that's just what we want. But we want a little bit more than that. We want that to go into the packager, which does not appear to be able to take things from the bottom. Okay. This is why we have the item ducts. We are going to set this up so that the final products will be what just happened? Oh, I believe I am lagging quite severely again. Okay, that's fine. Wow. I really want to get this done to show you. Here, let me relog. Okay, that's fine, if that actually stays. So, put that guy there, and that guy there. I think if we switch that direction, okay, it is sending the cobble up into the packager. Oh, alright, the packager is packaging now, which is great. But there is one more step step necessary. Okay, let's we are going to need to change the positioning of this. I only brought the 6 item ducts. Thought I had 8. No, okay, the recipe only makes 6. That's too bad. As you can see, it's mostly working. I just need to get it to go into the barrel after that. Which means I am going to have things down here. But that's okay. We will put the barrel right here. Bam. It will need an item duct leading into it. And that item duct will need to be powered. I'll show you why in a second. Above that, we will put the craft packager, and we will switch this to be an output. Now, theoretically, nope. Okay, one sec. If we switch that to be here, can we actually reach the top of this? Of course not. Of course not. Okay, the thing we have to test then. Does the craft packager take input from the side? Let's see. There are 25 in here now. 22 does take input from the side. Okay, that improves things substantially. So that means we can put that here. And put that there. Flip this. It seems every time the packager does its thing, it releases a redstone signal, but too briefly for the the item duct to transfer the items down to the barrel. But that's okay. We now have our handy dandy stone brick maker. And it only took us like 2 to 3 times as long as it should have, as I fooled around with other less effective methods. Awesome. Well, now that we have this, next episode we'll be able to actually make use of it and start building our base. I am very excited for that. I just don't feel right on a server until I've got a nice base set up. But that will be soon now. So I hope you enjoyed yourself, and I'll see you next time. Oh, wow. Perfect timing. See you next time.